At this moment, I have here, of course, Kiara Dario, the sexton of ano, of Miss
Yes,
Saigon.
hi!
Sorry.
Happy to be here with Broadway World Philippines.
Right, I love it when I said you're the sexton of Hanoi. All right.
Yes.
Okay, first question. So, what's the movie in your mind
What's the movie in my mind?
playing right now?
Oh my gosh, this is actually like such a dream to me, and I keep saying that it is really the movie in my mind because ever since I was a kid, it was always my dream to be in an international production. I wasn't even thinking that it would happen this early in my career, and to have it be Miss Saigon, one of the most iconic musicals ever. So this is really like I still can't believe it. I don't know when it's gonna sink in. I don't think it ever will. I'm just so happy that the rest of my cast is also there and very supportive. Everyone's so supportive, and the Filipinos are so supportive. As in, people keep messaging me, and it's so nice to have that support from the country.
Right. Okay. So I have to read this as well. So Gigi is quite the opposite roles you have to play on stage. We know that.
Yes.
A lot of people know that.
Yes.
So how did you adjust for the role?
Oh my gosh. I actually, when they first asked me to audition, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna try. As we know, like the roles that I usually play are like very cute, young,
Right.
innocent, ingenue.
Right.
My last role was Snow White, so very very different. But I'm very grateful to Joseph the Dreamer because that was the first role. That was my first featured ensemble role, a featured character role. So, and I was playing Mrs. Potiphar, who is the seductress of the show. And I didn't think I could do it either. But our AD, Nelsito Gomez, believed in me. And he said, no, I know you can do this. So if it were not for the amazing creative team of Joseph the Dreamer, I don't think I would be able to have this confidence that to play such an iconic character as Gigi.
Right. So what was your initial reaction when you saw Miss Saigon for the very first time?
Oh, like watching the
Yeah,
show?
watching the show, yes.
It was such a different experience because I've grown up with the show like all my life. I started listening to the music when I
Right.
was 3 years old, and I've been watching like the 25th anniversary version that's on like Apple TV and
Right.
stuff. But watching it live for the first time in Melbourne, I watched it the day before my audition. It was such a different experience, and I thought I wasn't gonna cry because I already know what's gonna happen. But hearing the music live is a different experience, and seeing amazing Asians on that international stage is so cool. It's so cool to see live. I think it's a very different experience. The chills that were on my arms the whole time.
Right. Okay. And then you are playing Gigi, the Miss Saigon. We know that.
Yes.
You're the winner of Miss Saigon Dreamland, remember,
Yes.
right? Okay. And can you tell us your experience or how did you react during the rehearsal, the very first time you interpret the role?
Oh, so
Like the reading rehearsal,
yeah, our first rehearsal actually was more of like they started off very slowly, so they allowed me to ease into the role. First, we watched documentaries
Right.
on the Vietnam War because they wanted it to really come from a place of authenticity. And when we finally ran Moving My Mind for the first time, it was just surreal, like being able to sing that in front of like the
Right.
creative team, and it was so cool because they kept allowing me to make choices that other Gigis hadn't, and they said if that feels right for you, you should do it. So a lot of the interpretation is free for the artist to make, and I find that so cool because it's hard to get the previous performances of Miss Saigon out of your head because they're so iconic, like Isay Alvarez,
Alvarez.
Rachel Ango. But they really kept empowering me to interpret the song in my own way.
Yes, and
Which
this
is
is
so
actually
cool.
your signature soliloquy because this is your only song that you
Yes.
need to have this interpretation,
Yeah,
right?
yes,
So it's
exactly.
actually wow. And then of course, Kim will join
Yes.
you afterwards, right?
Yeah, and it's an amazing moment in the show because it's the first time that we really get to see the inner thoughts
Yes.
of a character.
Yes.
And that foil contrast between Gigi and Kim is so,
There you go.
it's such a beautiful part of the show, and it's one of the most iconic parts of the show, which is why I really want to be able to do it
Yeah,
justice.
because a lot of you bar girls, they have
Yes.
their own, dreams, and this is
Yeah.
about movie in my mind. You have your dreams and that you need to interpret
Yes.
during that song, and it's on you
Yes.
specifically.
And it's so, I think Filipinos relate to the character of Gigi and
You're
Kim
right.
so much because we do anything to get to succeed in life
Right.
through all the hardships. Kayod lang ng kayod,
Tama.
diba? So it's very meaningful.
Right, and that's us, Filipino. Kayod ng
Yes.
kayod. Very nice when you said kayod ng kayod. Okay, the old guards criticized Miss Saigon for objectifying Asian women, right? So what's your stand on this?
Oh, this is such an interesting question.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful that within the 35 years that Miss Saigon has been such an icon of musical theater, it's also changed with the times, and it's evolving in this 21st century era where there's a much more focus on authenticity, bringing to light the Asian female experience.
Right.
And I think it's always championed Asian talent, but I think this time it's going to be really refreshing for especially the new generation to see because as Sean said, it's really focusing on the women. There were some scenes that were restaged to be able to give more power in the women's hands and being able to tell that story authentically of not victimhood but survival of these women and like how strong they were in the face of this war that was like I think it's really interesting to see that power shift in this version of Miss Saigon.
Right. Okay, and you're playing Gigi. So, what's your most favorite part or the interpretation about Gigi? What do you like about it?
This version of Miss Saigon, I don't want to spoil too much, but there are lots of moments for Gigi to play with, and I think it's Gigi is the principal role that has the least amount of like stage time or like
Right.
songs, but I think it's so beautiful because the moments that our directors were able to give Gigi in this version where sometimes it's just a look, sometimes it's just like they put her in the center of a scene that she wasn't in the center of before, and it's like so beautiful to see her transform throughout the whole show and not just in Movie in My Mind, but
Right.
throughout the whole narrative. She's involved and she plays a part, and people who relate to her will be able to see themselves.
Correct. What do you think is the message of your character being a woman?
Oh, that's such a great question. It's so nice to be able to open the show in International Women's Month because for me, Miss Saigon has always been about women's strength, and it's not necessarily showing what women like the ideal situation of a woman,
Right.
but it's showing what a woman does with her heart. So like Kim says, I have a heart like the sea, or I'm so much more than you see. So it's really like bringing that love and that strength of a woman that you see people like Kim grow from, being an innocent person with not a lot of experience, and she grows from that girl to a woman and someone who chooses love in the face of everything. And I think that's what women always do. Throughout all the hardship, throughout all the discrimination or the oppression or anything that's happening in life, we always choose love. And I think that is the strength of a woman.
Very nice. All right, last question. Why do you think people should watch Miss Saigon in Manila?
This is the first time it's back in Manila in more than 20 years. So it's such a special thing to be able to come back with so many Filipinos in the cast. And it's so exciting because, as I said, this version of Miss Saigon is so different from any other version of
Right.
Miss Saigon that came here. The one that was in London is very different. This one is so special, and I think it really is a champion of Asian talent and Asian women.
Right.
So I think Filipinos should definitely come see this because it's so close to the hearts of Filipinos, and it's a story that a lot of Filipinos love. And for the new generation, there will be something. I hope Miss Saigon touches you the way it has touched me, seeing an international musical being led by people that look like you. It's such a special experience, and it really changed the trajectory of my life growing up watching Miss Saigon. So I hope it does the same for all of the people watching, who will be watching.
Wow. Very nice.